Oh man, I hate myself. I just did a whole recording, looked down at my mic, and I could see the blinking red light, which means, of course, the mic is off. So if you saw this, it would just be me. Yeah, like that. So we do it again. Anyway, what you're looking at here is a 3D sculpture on a program called Sculptress, which is a free, 3D CAD program. It's really a demo mode for a $1,500 desktop, software package for actually industry level 3D sculpting. This will not do highly refined work, but it does pretty good work. And it's a great introductory tool for beginning students, which is one of the reasons I use it to introduce sculpting in class. It also allows you to create OBJ objects, which you can take into Panzoid, which is the program I use to create intros. And so you see, this might very well wind up being part of a new intro. Wait a minute. Gonna have to work on the expression. Anyway, I whipped up a sculpture. There it is. I gotta work on it. So laugh if you want. Put the comments in there that, yeah, I truly am an ugly guy. My wife would say this doesn't look like me, but what does she know? Anyway, let's get on to the video. Did some Iron Banner tonight, and I want to make sure this is recording. so I don't mess that up again. Yes, it's recording. All right, so I did a little Iron Banner. I set it up a little bit differently. I practiced a little bit in PvE beforehand just so I could kind of get the feel of the weapons again on console. I'm using Vigilance Wing. I'm using Felwinter's Light. Yep, I am. And I'm also using a sword, which I didn't realize until I picked up Heavy. I had no intention of actually using the Heavy, but wound up getting it, and so I did use it. Now, while it's loading in there, and it's going to be Javelin, which I do like. Javelin's probably my favorite map. Let me tell you what my Felwinter's has. Not that it matters that much, but my Felwinter has opening shot, quick draw, accurized rounds, and full choke. I mean, it's a pretty good roll. I don't think that's the standard roll. I got a few of them before it was closed off. Oh, and the masterwork is range. So that gun's pretty tight. Now, I've never been good with it because I just didn't take the time to learn it, but I figure since I'm having to learn it all again anyway, I might as well learn how to ape. And because I keep getting aped. Now, check this out. These two guys have overcommitted, and I get both of them. Or at least I get a piece of one and a full of the other. Now, I got some ammo there. I'm going to reload. And then I think I get the zone. Yeah, reloading and just waiting to re-engage. All right, so we're in good shape now. And I'm trying to be aggressive, and I look and I see I get a frozen here, and I don't move on it. And that guy backed up, and I walk out there anyway. And so I don't know what I was thinking there. And that's just old man reflexes there. Just slow. Mistake. I should have gotten at least one of those guys. I had the shotgun for it. I mean, I didn't have to turn around and close with him. And that's the mistake I make with this shotgun, is that I think that, I think back to Destiny 1 where you had to have a little bit more proximity to pull that off. With this gun, I could shoot where that box is. I could hit from that wall right there and probably do enough damage to at least follow up with a melee or a hand cannon shot, and that person would be dead. Alright, I backed up there because I saw I was getting overwhelmed, and I didn't have any support, and I figured they had to come for C because they were wanting to triple cap. Right now, this is a back and forth match, which is a good thing. I like tight matches. If you're going to play, PvP is competition by nature, and if it's competition, that means it should be close. And so I don't complain when matches are sweaty. I mean, that to me is fun. All right, so I've got my sword. I had that moment when I picked up the heavy ammo and said, uh-oh, I've got a sword. I'm not going to rush these guys. I'm going to let them come to me. And this guy just about fed me. My teammates killed him before he got there, but he won't be the only one. You see the other one coming over? And I could have shotgunned him, but he came in with an overshield somehow. And I don't know how he got it, but he had it. And that was going to be a bad deal for me. All right, so I move out of there because I see that they've actually collapsed on that spot. But I'm going to re-engage and see if I can keep them from taking it. So, the answer is yes. Thing about that gun is the second, you want to hip fire it in that situation, and the second you get that circle on that person's waist, you let go. I mean, just wherever you're at. I mean, you will stun them if nothing else. All right, picking up some ammo. I'm actually loaded, I think, as much as I can get. I've got 7 rounds. And right there, a problem I have with controller is occasionally it'll just stop firing. And right here, what happened, for some reason, my, and you don't see it here, my game console jumped out to the PS5 menu system. And so I was trying to clear that off. Obviously, I didn't get out of there in time, which is a shame because I had 7 rounds of special ammo. But that one wasn't really my fault. But the gun stopping firing is something that most often to me happens on auto rifles. And it could be that I'm pressing on the L3 too hard and going into sprint mode and then taking the gun down. And that's probably what it is. All right, got a piece of that one. I've got my super and decide now's the time. The guy that was on the center right decided to take off to the right. This guy makes a mistake and tries to engage me. That's one. This guy, he kites me a little bit, but he's not going to get away, and he knows it. If he'd had a shotgun, maybe he might have. Okay, so here we go. I put a burst into that guy with a Vigilance Wing, then follow up with a shotgun. It was perfect. Now, I should have killed that guy outright, but I didn't have another round in the shotgun, and there were 2 or 3 of them there, and I figured if I just stood there, I'd lost him. And you know, if it was mouse and keyboard, I would have flipped on him real quick and I would have found him. But he was over my head, and I figured if I stayed there, he was going to get me anyway. So I wanted to put some distance between us and possibly shut off his field of view. That's the only thing about Felwinters right there, is it is a slow rate of fire, and I aimed too high, and you saw what happened. I didn't get enough pellets in the head, and it just didn't kill him. If I'd aimed at his waist, it would have been a one-shot kill at that range. Alright, so I'm damaged. What do I do? Step right into a lane? Yep. Instead of recovering, I got impatient. They were going to get that zone no matter what, and I was trying to keep them from doing it, and I just fed them a kill. You know, and every one of my matches has that. There's a push-pull to it. I mean, I'll start making some good moves, and then I'll make some dumb moves. And here, I realize we've been triple capped. And though we're ahead by 20 points, here's their opportunity to close the gap on us. And so I stand here and just take his super. Okay? Dumb. And now, yeah, we're still pushed out about 22 points, but it's not because of what I'm doing. I'm actually playing kind of dumb. Now I see then that I'm about to feed them another kill because they're spawning at A, and they're going to take it. There's really not much I'm going to be able to do to stop it, but I figure they're going to come running out of here as soon as they take it, because we got B and C right now, or at least we're working on it. And I'm trying to set a trap here, but this is too passive. Judging by the speed at which A is going, they're not all there, and you see B going, so that's apparently where they are. So I should have charged in there and really aggressively gone after it. So this guy comes in, and I figure, well, if he's going to go in, I'm going to go in too. And we're just going to pull A out from under him, because they will go for B again if we let them. And so I got the last shot and kind of stole that kill. And they did go for C. So we're going to have to go for B. Now watch me walk into a grenade and just kind of stand there. I cannot count how many times I've actually died to that sort of thing, just not recognizing I'm in somebody's grenade. Or not reacting to it anyway. Now I don't know what to do here. If I charge this guy and slide in, I could probably kill him with a shotgun. But I miss him and he misses me. And I flipped on him faster than he flipped on me, and I got the Felwinters off, and I put the Pipper in the right spot, and that's kind of how you have to react with that. The second that barrel lines up, you've got to go, you got to pull it. Ugh, it was dumb on my part, but it worked. I might have just run into the only person worse than me in the lobby. I think that may be what it was. You know, but a lot of the game is just developing muscle memory, and you've got to do certain things. And I didn't realize that guy was an enemy until it was almost too late, but I did get him. Anyway, you got to do certain things until you don't have to think about them anymore. And that's where I get caught a lot of times, is I get caught thinking too hard, you know, trying to overthink the situation. You know, I was able to ape these guys for the most part, and when I did, I was successful with the shotgun. I should have just leaned into that. And yet I kind of fall back into my old habits and just try to one-man show things and I don't know, just do dumb things. Anyway, I want to comment that this lobby it looks like a really big mismatch. It really wasn't. I mean, it was competitive, even though it was about 20 points and kind of held there. You know, the way it is in Iron Banner, the winning scores is 25 points lower. On top of that, it's really because of the lockout mechanic. You know, things can snowball pretty fast and get away from a team, and so you could be neck and neck or even behind, triple cap somebody, wipe out the team with your supers if you time it right, and you're ahead by 20. You know, so anything can happen. And I will say this about console versus PC as well. I did a lot of Iron Banner in PC, and well, for over a year. And now there aren't very many matches, Crucible of any kind, that go to completion. They're mostly one-sided blowouts, and they always were kind of, but at least they would be allowed to finish, which I don't know is a good thing when it gets right down to it, because you're usually just getting farmed by that point. But you know, the mechanic right now, I mean, there really aren't a lot of matches that finish in, or at least at full length. And that's kind of an indictment on how Bungie's probably messing up on that matchmaking deal. They need to introduce some form of skill-based matchmaking, or, as in this case, have a solo queue only option for any of the Crucible matches. Because if I'm doing Control, which is what I would typically play if I play PvP, I'm going to drop in against 3 and 4s, and that's never going to go well. I mean, almost never. It just isn't, unless there is another team on my side, maybe a double or something like that, or just some god level player on my part, which on my team, which normally doesn't happen. I mean, it's going to be a blowout. So I'm happy with the way this went, not because we won, but because it was competitive. And you know, we both had good players on our side, and but I don't think there was anyone just crazy good. So if they would all be like this, who would complain? All right, so that being said, I've rambled long enough, and I'm going to let it go for tonight. I want to thank you so much for watching, and this is Iron Bill, and I'm signing out.